To a typical dreary, drizzly day. Yuck.
Good morning, Codger Biker here. Time to change the air filter, I think.
Okay, so for Christmas Wolfgang got this.
He also got some rim grease. Unfortunately, I can't find it. Hopefully I didn't use it for some other purpose. So I've looked and looked and looked, put it somewhere safe, can't find it. So I'm just going to use a little bit of ordinary lithium grease. Let's face it, it's not absolutely essential to put any on these anyway. A lot of people don't bother. The bike's coming up to 2 years old, so when I spoke to the dealer, they said, oh, we don't change the air filters until the 6,000 miles service. Well, that could be another year with lockdown and everything. And as you can see outside, it is raining. We live in a very damp climate, and there's more dust around in the summer than you might think. And these engines, the biggest single cylinder engine on a production motorbike, I think, at 693cc, so it sucks quite a lot of air in through a paper filter, which of course is going to get damp and just wear out. It's 2 years old, the filter that's in the bike as far as I know, so time to change it. Should be a simple job. Let's see. Oh, I know a lot of people say, oh, get rid of the paper one and put in a high flow one, get more power. I'm not really bothered about getting more power. The bike's got plenty of power for me. You don't really notice any 1 or 2 horsepower anyway. I prefer not to have that sound of the air rushing in, so quite happy with the standard. I'm all about longevity in motorbikes. You can get another 5 horsepower and then the engine burns out in a year. Or you can change the air filter, put a little one in it, and then you get dirt in it and it wrecks the engine. I know some people that have had that problem. So I'm keeping it stock. Also avoids any warranty issues, or it's nearly out of warranty, I would imagine. So yeah, let's get on with it. First thing, remove the seat. Seat and clips comes off. So looking inside, you can see the snorkel here, and there's a couple of Torx, probably T30s, not sure, find out in a minute. That should just come off. That should give me access to the paper filter. It'd probably still be quite clean. I can't remember what the mileage is on the bike at the moment. It's less than 3,000 miles. Just due to lockdowns and various other things. So I have been in some dusty roads, and I have been on a lot of wet roads. So I've always thought on a bike, change the filter every year, change the oil every 6 months. That's been my sort of, not philosophy, that's too highfalutin a word. That was a strategy given to me by a mechanic in the 1980s when I worked in a garage, so that's what I pretty much stick to. Oil every 6 months, air filter every year, regardless. Yeah, it's not overly expensive. It's a lot cheaper than a new engine. So what do you think, Zig? T30 or T27? Let's try a T30. T30. Yep, it's T30 or a 10mm spanner. Not tight. I remove those. So just give us a bit of a wipe over, clean it. Pointless changing the filter and then dropping a load of dirt in there. Really, really important on a dirt bike to keep the dirt out of the engine. I see lots of those small air filters, if people replace all this with a toolbox, or if they put an extra tank in here, they replace with these tiny little air filters. Probably okay if you clean them constantly, but I prefer just to stick with the stock one. I don't need an extra couple of horsepower. There's plenty of power on this bike. 60-70 horsepower, weighs 150 kilograms. It's good enough. I prefer the bike to last for 20 years than get like 2 years and then it blow up. Old MZ in the garage come to 40 years old, still working on the same engine. It's not been rebuilt, and I always change the oil and clean the filter and change the filter on that. Right, so there's quite a bit of dirt come off there. That won't fall in now. I guess I should have read the manual really, but how hard can it be? Thank you. Right, so yeah, there's a couple of hooks on the end of there which presumably you have to dig in to hold it in place. The snorkel itself seems to be reasonably clean. Okay, so from the factory, stock filter doesn't appear to have any grease on it. It seems to be grease free, and it's not overly dirty, but there's quite a lot of dirt in there. I ride as much as I can all year round, so I'm more concerned about getting damp and perishing. It doesn't look to be too bad, it's not too dirty, but you can never be too careful. Look inside there, nice and clean inside, but you can see there is some dirt around the edge there, look, which I'll clean off carefully in a minute. I need two hands for that because I don't want to push any dirt into the airbox. The airbox is spotless, so the filter's been doing its job. You can see the two lugs where the end of the snorkel goes. The airbox inside is absolutely spotless. Okay, let's move on. Oh, by the way, don't copy me. I'm just showing you this for entertainment. As always, I'm just an idiot. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, let's get the filter out of the box and have a look at it. Now I think I might just put a trace of lithium grease. I can't find my proper rim grease. As I said, I put it somewhere safe. I've looked and looked for weeks, can't find it, so I put a little, it's lithium based, then I'll put a tiny trace of lithium grease just to seal the sides against dust. There is dust there, this side of the rim, or there was. There is a rim around the outside of it, so that was doing its job with the look of it. And just check I've got the right one. 76506015100. 76060151100 air filter, Luft filter. So there's the new one, and there's the old one. You can see quite a bit of dust in there actually, and this one's spotless. From the factory, it looks like it's got anything on it. So it's a very, very fine amount. So I'll just put a smidge of lithium grease around the outside of it. I've seen people put vast quantities on. Don't think it's necessary. Lightly greased, and put it back in. It's a bit awkward. One thing you don't ever want is dirt getting into a big engine like this. This is its lungs. That's pushed in quite nicely. Just make sure that rubber seal is all the way around on that. There's like a ridge I noticed, and it seems to sit on top of it, which is good because that will find a better seal. That's probably why they didn't bother putting any grease on it, as far as I could tell. Anyway, put such a small amount and it won't do any harm. Right, so the new filter is in place. You see that? And at the back here, I've got to get those two prongs to push into the back of the filter there, so make sure it's properly on. Okay, let's try the snorkel. You can see that it's pushed. This is shaped to fit round to seal it, and there's a moulding on this end to hold it, and that end is squashed down with these 2 feet which need locating in the back. The snorkel itself looks very nice and clean, nothing in it. Yeah. I can't actually see what I'm doing, so that's the tricky part. I'll just remove this. So I'm just going to remove that so I can see what I'm doing. We are located. Yeah, you can't lift it off. Having position. But once that's in, everything is solidly in place. So with that in place, can't pull it off. It hooks back in. Don't need to be overly tightened, just tight enough to hold. So that's in. Clean that. Might just a bit of dirt under here, just give that a clean. Can't be too careful with a big 1-cylinder engine. Last thing you want getting in there is grit and dirt and dust. notice that my plastics are shaped a little bit to allow for the mount from the Raid Garage damper mount, just there. It all fits on nicely, all nice and clean. New filter. Merry Christmas, Wolfgang. Codger Biker and Ziggy, hello, are out.